grew up around a lot of Jewish people. I went to Hebrew preschool.
Once a Nazi, always a Nazi. What if never a Nazi? Does always a Nazi? Never a Nazi, always a Nazi. Now you've simply written an oxymoron. I spend a lot of time on the leftist websites.
Why?
Democrat Underground, Reddit Politics. We get a lot of our information from the left so that we can inform you as to what it is they're saying, what it is that they are thinking. We make all of the references available every day, links in the description. I encourage you to peruse them. My soul is not what it once was. Like it's maybe a quarter because it has died a little bit every day going to Reddit and going to the Democrat Underground and reading what they say. Today, they're talking about Elon Musk being an actual literal Nazi, which brings us to our first installment of Reddit. This is why we're canceling our streaming to YouTube.
Just imagine next week.
It's going to get worse. So let me walk you through this because those on Reddit are convinced that Elon Musk actually wants to gas Jews. Not, oh, he's a fascist. They actually believe that he is a Nazi. And this is thousands of comments and people. That's what's so concerning. March 14th, Elon reposted a tweet, okay? That said, or a post on X. It said, Stalin, Hitler, and Mao didn't murder millions of people. Their public sector workers did. Now, he deleted the post because of some blowback. Here's the thing. He's correct. And that is a valid point. The point that was being made is not Stalin, Hitler, and Mao are good people. It's that it requires a long line of people to go along with evil who are just doing their job. That's a valid point. That in no way is praise for Hitler. I don't think he should have removed it. Let's give some more context, though. Yesterday, Elon agreed with a post on X that said, we didn't hate Hitler because he made a stiff arm salute. We hated him because he murdered millions of people and tried to eradicate an entire race. And by the way, I agree with that. For example, Nazis, by the way, have the Hitler bad.
Hitler bad?
Hugo Boss made nice outfits.
They did.
Still does.
If I had to choose between the little stupid cyclist hat that the Scottish wore in World War II or the SS uniform, I'm going SS because it's Hugo Boss. You guys don't have Armani on the payroll, but I don't like the genocide. So Hitler was primarily reviled and disgraced because of the genocide, because of the murder, right? Because of the hatred for Jews, also because he played his music far too loud. Well, that's how they took Poland so fast.
That's annoying
that
at
and the meth.
stoplights.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
It's my workout music.
Now, I'm going to get to the comments from the folks on Reddit. And the point here is it doesn't matter what you do. Appeasing crocodiles is futile. Don't try and find common ground based on a lie. Elon Musk, love him, hate him, or if you're somewhere in between, he has been crystal clear on the Jews, on what he thinks of Nazis, and where he stands.
What is bad about Nazis? It wasn't their fashion sense or their mannerisms.
It was the Holocaust.
It was the war and genocide is what is the bad part.
I grew up around a lot of Jewish people. I went to Hebrew preschool, Rachel Spiro in South Africa. My name is very Jewish.
This is the house of Bill.
Just imagine Hitler sitting there listening to that Jewish music. It just
wouldn't happen.
I can't!
Play the dubstep again.
Yeah.
You're not going to Hollywood! Nein!
When does the beat drop on this?
That's right. There's Simon Cowell when you need him. So, and the reason I'm going to read you some comments on, again, these are we're picking ones that have thousands of comments. The biggest political sort of message board form out there is because a lot of people complain about echo chambers and being siloed. I don't want you to be that. You need to know what the other side is saying so that you are equipped to deal with it. Once upon a time, there were disagreements. Now I'm going to tell you, the far left, the entire Democratic Party, they are as radical as can possibly be. That is their voting wing. Let me read you some comments here from the Reddit tardos. This comes from I don't want to list their name, but this is one of the first comments there. I didn't think Musk was stupid enough to say something like that the first time that he supported Nazis. Boy, was I ever wrong. I wonder if we went back to his home in Africa, would we find out that he was a racist there as well? He didn't say anything positive at any point about Hitler or about genocide. Here's another Reddit Mensa member. Says, it's because he's crying about his Teslas not selling. Once a Nazi, always a Nazi.
I hate being
Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing. First off, that's not necessarily true. There are plenty of Nazis who learned the error of their ways. As Christians, if we don't believe that humans can be redeemed, then there's no reason for a God. There's no reason for Jesus to have ever been a sacrificial lamb. So I don't even agree with that premise. However, in this case, it's flawed because of that first part. Once a Nazi. Right. What if never a Nazi? Does always a Nazi? Never a Nazi, always a Nazi. Now you've simply written an oxymoron. Let's go to one more here. It says, about Elon Musk. You just saw all the context. Check the links. I bet folks in the German government had some questions for him. Holocaust denialism is against the law there and very punishable. He wouldn't want to have his Tesla factory near Berlin closed. Oh, show me where he denied the Holocaust ever. Right. This is what the left does. They create a premise that has no basis in reality. You may wonder in your day-to-day interactions, well, why does this person think I'm a racist? These people believe that Elon Musk denied the Holocaust and that Donald Trump is a Nazi. Start it with a false premise, no basis in reality, and then go on to a conclusion which is just as illogical. Here's one more. It says,
if he had said some Holocaust denial stuff, then Germany surely would have already taken action against them. They arrest people for memes about immigrants. So,
and by the way, Germany's also wrong to do that. Germany is as Germany does. I think that Holocaust denialism, it's stupid, but I don't think it should be outlawed. People have the right to express their opinion. But in Germany, they just can't help that totalitarian streak. Here's one more. It says,
our blood.
Elon, you should shut the F up, you apartheid Nazi bore.
Want me to scare you? Boo, boo, boo!
What's that?
No idea. I don't even know what that was.
That was Rosie from that movie the other day.
Oh, she's so bad at playing I couldn't even tell.
I just thought it was Rosie.
Yeah.
I thought that was her talk show. I was like,
how long before she has a fake Irish accent?
I know. Yeah. How long before they kick her out of the country?
Yeah, exactly. She's going to come back to be like, you Americans are so... Well, what are you talking? You're a fat American lesbian. Anyone here think Elon's a Nazi?
Elon's been going after the bureaucracy. He's made that point over and over and over. And his point was the only way those people were able to do what they did, killing millions of people, is because the bureaucracy went along with it.
Yeah.
That's what he was talking about. Like, it's a completely reasonable statement to make, but everybody just loses their mind because he's a Nazi.
An invalid comparison is, for example, saying, well, Elon Musk said that government workers carried out horrible acts. Therefore, he's a member of the SS. That's not a reasonable conclusion. Right. That's an if this, then that, but there isn't even an if this. I will say, inaccurate, I would say, analogy is, hey, you know what? It required government workers to other and target their fellow neighbors. Kind of like it required government workers to other and target parents at PTA meetings who didn't want boys in their bathrooms.
Right.
Kind of like it took othering and targeting for the IRS agents to target members of the Tea Party or conservative activists, right? Not saying they're Nazis. I'm saying it's a step along that path of hating your neighbor. Comment below if you think that's a more valid comparison. And I'm not even calling them Nazis. Hey, if you're still watching this video, comment below. Sorry, I'm parched. I can't drink from that. But you can click the video and watch it. But what is it a hat?